Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Thursday, September 6th, 2018. I'm your host, Alexander Coffey, joining you live with a camera this week. Hello, in my brand new apartment. I'm joined, of course, by two of our regular Nintendo News reporters, Donald Terrio. Hi.
Or, as I'm perhaps better known tonight, Turd Ferguson. Rest in
Turd
peace,
Fergus.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh, it's Saints Row the Third coming. Or, well,
Come,
of course, rest in peace for real, legend of film. But also, Saints Row the Third is coming to the Switch next year, and if you are a Burt Reynolds fan, you'll get a little something in there. Um, yeah, rest in peace, Burt Reynolds. We're also joined by one Justin Berube. Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. Apparently, some disagreements on Mega Man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that demo came out tonight. But first, we actually have a little bit of news to talk about. We were going to start a little earlier, but I was running late. And as I was running late, there was some late breaking news. But we'll get to that in a second. So there was a Nintendo Direct slated for Thursday this week. And it was supposed to be 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Or was it?
it's 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, I think 7 a.m. Japan time, and midnight European time for the most part. But in a very tragic case of real life getting in the way, there was a magnitude 6.7 earthquake that hit the northern portion of Japan, the island of Hokkaido, this morning, our time. And as a result, Nintendo actually has delayed the Direct to a undetermined date in the future.
But the suggestion is that was it Yokai Watch Blasters or was it Monster Hunter? Just something suggested that it'd be next Thursday instead of this one, right?
I haven't really heard. It probably would have made mention of Yokai Watch, but
Splatoon. It was Splatoon. There was some update that was like data mined for tonight, but instead it got pushed to next Thursday instead. I don't know. Go
yeah,
Nintendo Splatoon Direct. See if it says anything. Oh, okay. Here it is. This is from 8 hours ago. It's loading. It's loading. Of course, all the best to everyone affected by the earthquake. And totally understandable that they would delay the direct. And I hope everyone, there are as many people as possible associated with Nintendo and not associated with Nintendo are as unaffected as possible by this. And
yeah,
yeah.
it's hard to say that they're not, though. I mean, this earthquake follows up immediately after one of the deadliest typhoons Japan's ever seen made landfall there earlier this week, and actually the typhoon also led to massive landslides as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
they knocked the N off the Nintendo logo on their building.
Yeah, I saw that
yeah,
too.
and also the area affected by the earthquake includes the city of Sapporo, which is perhaps best known to Nintendo fans as the birthplace of Satoru Iwata.
Mm, yeah. So this comes from Go Nintendo. Splatoon 2 data miners have been pouring through the game as usual, and they found some interesting info. The ranked rotation pool with Starfish main stage that was supposed to start on September 7th has now been removed. In addition, all current rotations are preset until September 14th. Finally, the Salmon Run gear that was scheduled for the 7th has been pushed to the 14th. Looks like we could be seeing a Nintendo Direct rescheduled to September 13th. Not a confirmation by any means, but certainly some solid evidence. That could just be them pushing it out a week because they don't know yet. Like it could be next Tuesday or next Monday, although as Peter points out, Jewish holiday. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm leaning toward earlier in the week just because I'm sure some of Nintendo's stuff from this
mhm.
is going to be in Famitsu magazine, and that will leak by Wednesday morning if they don't get out ahead of it.
It could be Wednesday then,
Yeah,
or
Tuesday
Tuesday.
is
Yeah,
what I'm leaning toward.
maybe Tuesday, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I really have no idea. I mean, but this
Yeah,
time
this is
you don't know how much work is needed to like redo certain things in the direct, because they could have had things where it's like, oh, coming out on this date, and maybe that date has passed by the new day for the direct. So now they have to like redo the end of that video and then insert that into all the different regions direct. So it could be more complicated than just pushing it back a couple days.
Yeah. So rumors are abound, as always. I'm not gonna go over anything because I don't know what's true or what's not. But I guess as someone who's been relatively untouched by any rumors that's been going out, I'm gonna give some predictions. Justin's gonna give some predictions. Donald's ear is too close to the ground for me to trust him to give any predictions.
Well, there is one more other thing that was kind of confirmed today, I guess, which was the title of the new Yoshi game.
Oh yeah, that was on Nintendo's website. It was Yoshi's Crafted World, right?
Yeah, I believe that's correct. So
Yeah,
that's another like, just to throw that prediction out there. We're getting Yoshi. We're gonna see Yoshi.
2019. Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping that we're gonna get some Torna not collaboration. I hope the impending release of Torna the Golden Country is going to lead to a Xenoblade 2 confirmation. Maybe Rex and Pyra. I have not heard anything, so that is totally valid prediction. Also, I'm saying that like I think it's actually likely. I don't necessarily think it's likely. I hope Rex and Pyra end up in the new Smash Bros. Game.
And
I
Mithra.
also, huh?
And Mithra.
And Mithra. Yeah, you would need, if you got Pyra, you got to have Mithra based on the way Xenoblade 2 plays out.
That's one of the characters I put on my list on the website about a month ago. I put Rex and Aegis so you could switch between Pyra and Mithra. And that was one of my predictions for a September direct last week when I predicted a direct happening in the first half of September. I said they're going to talk about Xenoblade 2, Torna, the Golden Country, and then at the end of the direct they're going to show Rex in Smash. That was
very good.
So I'll keep that.
I think that's a very good prediction. I think there's 35, so it says 35 minutes of 3DS and Switch games. I think we're going to see, I would put money, we're probably going to see some Yokai Watch Blasters. We'll probably get a trailer just because it's supposed to come out tomorrow or is coming out tomorrow. So we probably see a little bit of that, maybe some introductory DLC or free updates that there would be. I think we're probably going to get maybe some more ports, maybe a couple new minor games. I think we'll get a taste of what early 2019 looks like between Yoshi's Crafted World and maybe some kind of game we don't know about yet. And I'm going to have one video game prediction that I said a couple weeks ago. I'm going to say it again. I bet Super Mario Sunshine is coming to the 3DS. I have a feeling deep in my bones that if they're on the GameCube port train, Super Mario Sunshine or the Thousand Year Door would both be excellent choices.
I think there might be some issues porting Sunshine just because it had those L and R buttons that were used in that game to determine how far you were squirting the flood. Because you know how the GameCube has L and R buttons? You can like press in and then it would know how far you're pressing it in.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they could modify that somehow. Or maybe they would use the right stick to modify distance.
So it'd be a new 3DS?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It could be.
I don't know, Alex.
All right.
I think you're hoping for a little too much out of the 3DS on this one. Although, if this thing was 2/3 3DS, I would laugh for a week straight.
Yeah. We could get Yokai Watch 3. Nah, maybe that's gonna come out next year, but I think that's gonna be a later announcement.
Persona Q2, maybe?
Persona Q2 would be good. That would be very good. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what game would be cool to come west is that Kunio-kun River City collection that's coming out in Japan in a couple months. I think that'd be cool in the West, even though like 12 of the games were never localized. So
yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, but although I guess there's nothing stopping me from just importing it because those would be the exact same versions of the games that would come over regardless, unless they tried to translate all of them, which they sure wouldn't. So, yeah. And then probably we'll see some Smash. We'll probably see a new Switch game or two, maybe a Tycho trailer. And then there were probably supposed to be 2 other announcements during the Direct that weren't announced during the Direct and instead were announced tonight within a few hours of each other, which makes me think that they were probably saved for the Direct. The first is that there's a Mega Man 11 demo out now on the Nintendo Switch eShop, coming to PS4 and Xbox One also at a later time, I believe.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, that's tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Switch gets the 6-hour exclusive on it, basically.
And the next one is that Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD, a game that was also announced today, is now available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and is coming soon to Nintendo Switch, which I'm guessing is probably either tomorrow or next week or what have you.
Coming the day of the Direct.
Probably. Maybe.
I don't think that was the plan, but if that happens now, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. But Final Fantasy Pocket Edition HD, it tells the same it's chibi-fied characters and it tells the same story as base game Final Fantasy 15, but it's abridged and apparently it's a relatively good reimagining of it. And the trailer for it, which I did get a peek at, actually looks pretty fun. It's about $15-$16, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what the full unlock costs, because it's free to. It's basically demo to buy on mobile. So you
chapter 1's free, and then you get the other chapters to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah, and it seems like the Pocket Edition. The Pocket Edition seems like it launched at about $15. So maybe it's just going to be buy it in one go. But I hear it's pretty good if you're into some Final Fantasy 15. So yeah, I'm interested.
Now Noctis can be in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, instead of so many other characters. I think they got away with a lot by including Cloud in Smash Brothers. I don't think they're gonna get away with a second not on Nintendo consoles.
Well, now that 15's on Switch, wouldn't that open the door for the versions of 7 and 9 and 12 and 10 that are on Steam to come over?
Theoretically, I think Final Fantasy VII, the version that came out on PlayStation 4, I think that'd be a really smart move for the Switch.
If only because if nothing else, it sort of, I guess, justifies Cloud being in Smash finally. But I just want that version because it's the version that lets you cheat like a you-know-what.
Yeah.
So I'll give myself a limit break instantly. Let's do it.
Yeah. So Mega Man 11, Justin, we both play that. Donald, you didn't play that demo yet.
I didn't get a chance to download it before the show because, well, I work until about 7:30 Eastern time, and this thing was on the eShop at 7. It takes me an hour to get home.
So I downloaded it and played it as soon as it went up on the eShop that I saw on Twitter. And that demo is one stage. It's the same stage that they had, like the Block-like man.
Yeah,
what's his name?
I believe. Yeah.
It's a literally Block-man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And it shows off the new mechanics, and it's a full level. I played on normal, got a game over, close-ish, I think, to the end. I still want to go back and actually get through it on normal, but I got a game over, which was promising to me. Justin, I hear you didn't like it that much or had some issues.
Yeah, I have a lot of things to discuss. I took some notes because I knew we'd be talking about it tonight. So if you just want me to go through those,
you know what? I'm gonna start positive. We're gonna make a compliment sandwich out of this.
I got some positive things also, so we could do that.
I'm gonna say some nice things. You say all your shit and then you end on some nice things. How about that?
Okay.
which your quote unquote shit may be very, very valid. I assume it is. It's perspectives and all that. But I thought it felt quite good. I thought it looked good. I felt like the game was made by people who really cared about and loved Mega Man. I love that they did something new with Mega Man rather than going back to the 8-bit style for a third game in a row. I thought the shooting and jumping felt very, very good. I didn't use the power mechanic much at all, but I did use the speed mechanic quite a bit. I didn't use much of the power-ups at all, but those seem okay. And it just felt really good. And even though I say this having gotten a game over, I was worried it would be way too much on the easy side, but this to me seems like it's like maybe Mega Man 6 difficulty? Like
I think it
easy
might be
for
the
NES
hardest.
territory, I guess. What was your take, Justin? That's all I have to say. That demo made me quite excited for it.
I think it might be the hardest of the mainline Mega Man games. I played it on normal, and I got several deaths before I could actually fully complete the stage because the boss was fairly difficult.
Oh, really? So you had a tough time with it?
Yes, and I'm pretty well versed in Mega Man. I mean, I can go into some more of my thoughts on that when I get to my part, but you keep going, Al.
No, I said everything I needed to
Okay.
say. I did one game over's worth.
Okay,
and
yeah,
then,
I ended up beating it. It was fairly challenging, which I wouldn't say is a positive or negative. I need to see where that goes, but I also don't think they gave you the weapon that was the weakness of the final boss. So that may not be the best boss to start with. So that could have been part of it.
Well, isn't the weakness for that one actually the power moves, or am I wrong about that?
I think it was in the end, but it took me a while to figure that out.
Gotcha.
So just going down my list here, I wasn't a fan of the music. It wasn't as good as Mega Man 9 or 10. Blockman's theme isn't catchy, and their music reminds me of PlayStation era stuff. And I didn't like that. Well, did you like the music, Alex? Because that's a huge part of Mega Man to me.
I thought it was all right. I guess I don't remember it that much, but I only played it through once. I would need to play again and reconsider.
All right. This is like a minor negative to me, but it makes it feel less like classic Mega Man.
Mhm.
When you pick up the energy, when you need energy, it doesn't freeze the game and uptick your counter, and the sound effect isn't very good, so you don't always know you're gaining energy. The voice acting is terrible, but going to a positive, you can turn it off, which I need to do because I just can't stand the stupid things Mega Man says all the time. And even when you get to the boss, he says stuff that's just I don't like it. It's cringeworthy, and I don't want to hear it.
Mhm.
The controls feel a bit cramped on the Joy-Con. It's easy to mistakenly nudge different buttons to switch weapons or call rush, which is a new thing in this game. I'm kind of like neutral on the opinion. Rush is always out, but in order to trigger them, you have to press a different button.
Did you find we're talking about jumping a tiny bit, just with or Rush reminded me. I found the jumping distance judging a little difficult, but that's kind of a Mega Man thing in general. I don't think that's necessarily
I think it's more
exclusive to this game.
I think it's more this game.
But you noticed that too.
Yeah, the precision. I'll get to that in a second, I think. But
Okay.
Keep that in the back of your mind while I'm on here.
Alright.
The C-stick can change weapons, which I also was accidentally nudging on the Joy-Con. But you can turn that off, and I did. You might be asking why I'm using the Joy-Con. It's because the D-pad on the Pro Controller is terrible, but I'm probably going to play the demo again and give that a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was having a problem accidentally activating different weapons and stuff just by like accidentally brushing against the button. It was like felt very sensitive. The boss Blockman has a second form and then reverts back to his original form with a different attack pattern after that. But after you like get him to the second form, his energy fully goes up, and then once you get to the final one, he has like a little bit of health left. And to me, this felt more like a Wily boss because of that, like a Wily stage boss with all the different forms. And as far as like this is dumb, but like I care a little bit. As far as like the Mega Man like storyline goes, these robots just seem so much better than any of the other ones because the Blockman turns into like a giant and does a ton of damage per hit. So it's kind of weird that the boss is structured this way.
Mm-hmm.
I went over that. Also, I felt like there was an over-reliance on the new gear system. I thought it was going to be more of an optional thing. So if like you're not very good at Mega Man, you have these like new abilities to like make the game a little bit easier for you. But no, like one of the first enemies you encounter on Blockman stage, you almost have to use the like slowing down thing because he's in a wheel and has a small window of opportunity to hit.
That one was a little on the annoying side.
Yeah,
Although
and there's
I don't want to use the every Mega Man game but argument, but I feel like every Mega Man game has a couple pain in the tuchus enemies like that.
yeah, probably. But like I said, I wasn't really feeling the gear system, and I did practice all the techniques before I jumped into the demo.
Yeah.
You have the one that slows everything down, the other that increases your damage. So one thing I noticed with that is if you have a charged up shot and you switch to the speed one, you keep your charge. But if you have a charged up shot and you switch to the power one, it makes you recharge your blast. Because I guess it would be too strong. Because when you do that, you fire two really strong blasts at once, which felt like was the best thing to use on Blockman overall. There is a new technique I found in this game, which I do like. I'm going to call it slide canceling. If you go to do your slide and hit back real quick, you won't go anywhere. Like you'll go down to slide and like stop, and it'll make like a screeching sound as you stop. So that seems good. The general feel seems okay, but the precision seems a little off. There were some time, like I took a video of it on my Switch. There's like a little opening in between two blocks, and I just wanted to see if I could jump in between them. And you can, but lining yourself up just right to do that was extremely difficult. And Mega Man, in my opinion, just seems like a game where precision's important, and it wasn't letting me have it in this one, you know, because I couldn't even get in that little crack very easily. I think that's just about everything. And
I feel like this game is gonna be Breath of the Wild-esque, not in necessarily a good way or a bad way, but you know how Breath of the Wild was hard to start but easy to finish?
yeah,
I feel like this is going to be a game like that. We're playing it first, getting the grips with everything, both the good and the not as good. Will probably take some adjustments and getting used to. I think New Super Mario Bros., even though that's a very easy series for the most part, a very similar way where you have to get the feeling of the physics and whatnot before you can play it comfortably. I'm guessing this game is going to be like that, where the first stage might be the hardest, and then once you get 2 or 3 bosses down, you might have an easier time after that.
That sounds a lot like Mega Man 9, honestly, and I picked it up on sale. I picked up Legacy Collection 2 on sale last week, and I put some time into 9 this weekend, and yeah, that pretty much is the first. That's even Splash Woman stage, which is supposed to be the easiest one in the game. Still, it took me multiple continues to beat it. But once I got through that, I was then able to do like 3 or 4 more stages pretty easily. It's just that the problem isn't the enemies in that, it's the fact that there's some pretty nasty traps in that level.
Well, I'd recommend starting with Galaxy Man in that one, but everyone has a different opinion, I'm sure.
Because once you get into the cycle, it's, you know, just work your way down from there. But yeah, I can see it.
Justin, are you still looking forward to the game? Are you still interested in playing it?
I'm gonna play it just because I've beaten all the classic Mega Man games, really, at least the main #1s in the whole Game Boy series. So I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play through it. But this demo really hurt my impression of what to expect. Like I said, it really reminds me more of like Mega Man 8 because of the voice acting being jammed in there, and it just seems like it's not as precise, which I felt was the same with 7 and 8. So I don't know. I'd prefer Mega Man, the classic series, to stay in the 8-bit style. It worked really well in 9 and 10. I love those games. I put a ton of time into Mega Man 9 and 10 on my Wii when you could still see. I probably put like 40 hours into 9 alone, just having fun with that game. I just pull it out and beat it if I had 40 minutes because I got pretty good at that game. But yeah, I'm a huge Mega Man fan. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it, but I'm a bit more cautious on what to expect now. I was more excited until I played this demo.
All right. All right, we'll see. I'll probably be the cheerleader for this game when it comes out next month. $30, October 3rd. That'll be exciting. All right. Valkyrie Chronicles 1's coming to Switch on October 16th. $20. Announced in a PAX West panel. Digital owners of 4 will receive a 25% discount, so $15 for the original Valkyrie Chronicles, which is a very beloved game. I have it on PC. I played like 3 hours. I thought it was kind of fun, but I enjoyed the gameplay a lot more than I necessarily enjoyed my time with the story. Donald, you beat Valkyria 1? I definitely asked you that on this show before.
I got a few chapters into 1. It never really gripped me, but that may have also been because I was playing it on a PS3. So maybe having it portably will be a bit more of a help with that. But because that problem is that's really bad timing because World Ends With You comes out 4 days before, and I think I'm going to be putting a lot more time into that.
Yeah. Not to mention 3 weeks after Valkyrie Chronicles 4.
Well, about that.
Yeah.
I've been playing a little bit of 4 actually, which we'll have more to talk about that. I'm aiming for Monday, but that may not be happening, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. So you're allowed to talk about some of it?
Basically, well, to this point, I've only pretty much played what's in the first half of the demo because it's a pretty big game. But yeah, it's the combat portions are very nice, but like you said, with 1, the story bits are okay. Let's get on with this. I admire the gumption of the characters, thinking that they're going to be able to charge all the way to the Imperial capital in this first mission, but I don't think it's going to work out that way.
Is the word, I guess I could play the demo now and tell you for myself, but I have it downloaded but not played. Is the impression from people that this is basically another Valkyria Chronicles 1 but made today instead of 10 years ago?
Yeah, this is, I think it's been a while since I played the original, so I can't tell if they've carried over any of the things from 3, which was never localized. There's nothing here that I really recognize as being that, but again, I'm still pretty early on, so maybe things will change as I work my way through the story this weekend.
What was the thing with Valkyria Chronicles 1? Didn't it retail at a lower than $60 price?
I think it was more. I think the appeal. A lot of the appeal was a combination of. I think it did have a slightly lower price. I don't think it was full price. I know I got it for 20 a couple years later, and that it had Skies of Arcadia characters in it as playable.
Okay. So I look forward to hearing more. Are you allowed to say when your review goes up?
That's the goal was Monday. They sent me the code yesterday. That seems suboptimal for a giant strategy RPG, but I'll see what I can do this weekend.
Yeah. Anthony says, after playing 80 hours of Valkyria Chronicles, I decided I didn't like it as a strategy game. That is a long time to play a video game before deciding you don't like it. That's a really long time.
I've heard worse about things like the 13 trilogy, so.
I played a lot of Breath of the Wild.
Yes, you did, Justin.
I think I played like 45 hours in Breath of the Wild, had a pretty good time, and then stopped. And then I bought the DLC and then didn't play it. And then that was my experience with Breath of the Wild. It was an okay time all around. Mario Odyssey, you ever play a game, you play it in the moment, and then you're like, yeah, that was a really good video game. Not perfect, but like I had a really good time. And then months pass and you look back and you're like, that was a way better game than I thought it was at the time. Like my memory is treating that game very, very well. Odyssey's doing that to me recently, and I've been wanting to go back and play it.
Well, another game I could talk about is The Messenger, which I finished today.
Is that as good as everyone's saying it is?
I think it is excellent. I only had a few minor problems with it. There was I hit a room and it seemed kind of glitched because the speed of the game slowed down. and I failed in this room for probably 20 minutes. I'm like, something's going on here. What's up? And then I did some testing, and I noticed when I was in that room, some of my techniques weren't working as the game slowed down. So
Mhm.
I did some research, and it looked like I had to just shut the game down and restart it, and then the room worked fine. So you might encounter a few instances like that where you just need to restart your game. But yeah, I think the game crashed on me once. But overall, I think the game is excellent outside of those problems. Uh, when the game opens up a bit more later on, I don't want to spoil too much, but I think some games do that better. But the movement in this game feels amazing. If you're a Ninja Gaiden fan, you're probably going to love this game. It's definitely worth playing this. It's probably one of my games of the year so far, if not the best game I've played this year, in my opinion. But I've been
All right.
itching for a new Ninja Gaiden game for a long time, and this really scratched that itch.
That's starting to sell me just a little bit hearing how much you like it. Now, my question is, I watched a video and I heard the term Metroidvania thrown around, but I'm trying to get a grasp on what it is. Is it like Ninja Gaiden? Is it like Castlevania 1? Is it like a ladder Castlevania game? Is it like a Metroid game? Like, where does this fit into the platformer Metroidvania type space?
I don't want to spoil too much, but since that was like kind of shown in the trailer, I'll say the beginning part of the game is more like a traditional Ninja Gaiden level based, but then it opens up and becomes more Metroid based.
But is it, I guess if it's a spoiler, if the fact that it's a Metroidvania puts me off a little bit, even though I like a good Metroid game from time to time, is that enough to keep me away from playing it?
Possibly.
Okay.
That's like the back half of the game, I think.
All right. I'll probably still get it when it gets a little cheaper, but good to know. Good to know. All right. And then the last story I have is an Alex story. It's a story I like. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes captures the bounty of a January 18th, 2019 release date. I am very excited about it. I also found out that Suda51, his favorite indie game is Hotline Miami, just like me. I'm so excited. And he also said that the reason why he delayed the game to 2019 is because it probably would have came out in December, it sounds like. And he didn't want it to get in the way of Smash Bros. Now, that could have just been him being jokey Suda51, but also I would totally believe that. He said it like it would hurt Smash Bros. Sales, but I'm guessing it would be an other way around kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no offense to Suda. I mean, this is gonna get a lot of hype, but it's not getting its own directs.
Yeah. Travis Touchdown's not going to get in Smash Bros. I would love him as a character because I think Travis Touchdown is very Nintendo, and I would say he's one of like the 5 characters indicative of the Wii era, at least to me. But I understand he doesn't get in there. I feel like it's enough. He could totally get an assist trophy. I think an assist trophy is within the realm of possibility.
Or just a regular trophy.
Or a regular trophy. Did you see that Rayman's going into Brawlhalla? That's Rayman's coming to, I think it's Brawlhalla in November, and that just got me thinking like, oh, I thought he was going to be in Smash. And there's nothing saying he can't be in both, but that probably means he won't be in both.
Although that was still one of the best fakes I've ever seen for Rayman and Smash in like 2014.
Yeah. Those are the days. I'm really excited for Travis Strikes Again. I don't care that it looks like a relatively simplistic game. No More Heroes being back after 10 years away is just that's a really special thing. And it seems like it's got some hype behind it because years have passed and And No More Heroes has become a bit of a classic territory game now. And if the Switch audience can support Travis Touchdown the way it supported so many other games, I feel like there's a lot of room for a new No More Heroes game. And I have this dream, not for this game, but for whatever game could potentially come after if they do an authentic No More Heroes, that it somehow gets some Yakuza traction and then ends up becoming a much bigger series. Now that Japanese video games are so much more popular, like today compared to where they were, I would say when these games originally came out, a well-placed soft reboot of No More Heroes, especially since 2 ended on like kind of a weird avant-garde but semi-definitive note. There's room for a good No More Heroes 3 or like No More Heroes Jurassic World style sequel to do a lot of good things for the Switch. And maybe this could be it, but I feel like this game's going to do well, and the next game, assuming he like pulls it off, will be the game that does great. If it gets to that point, I guess we'll see. Yeah. I'm always rooting for Grasshopper, though. They seem like good folks. That's all the stuff I have for this show. Chat doesn't seem like it has that much going on, so I guess we can call it. It's a good 40 minutes right there.
Expected something longer tonight, but well, we talked about it at the top here.
Yeah. So I guess that's our show for this week. Thank you very much for watching Nintendo News Report. We'll be back next week to tell you all about that Nintendo Direct that we saw. Hopefully, assuming it comes out 1 week from now or sooner. I'm Alex Calafia. You can find me on Twitter at Calafia, Culafia. You can find Donald on Twitter at DonaldMick, DonaldMick. Are you on Twitter?
I keep putting off the necessary purge that I have to do before I return.
Okay. So maybe hold off from following Donald, or never follow him, or follow him soon. We will see. You can follow Justin at King Nintendo Fan, King Nintendo FAN. Go to NintendoWorldReport.com to see all kinds of great coverage, especially around the Direct. Go to Patreon.com/NWR to support the site that supports this show. That's our show. Have a wonderful night. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.